Elephants are icons of wisdom, power, and grace. Majestic giants that once roamed freely across continents. Known for their deep family bonds and playful spirit, they've walked alongside humans for centuries. Once symbols of royalty and revered in battle, elephants have long held a sacred place in human history. But that relationship hasn't always been kind. For generations, they've endured hardship, forced to work, to fight, and to perform. In Thailand, their future now rests with two remarkable women, determined to restore their trust, their dignity, and their right to be wild once more. Before machines reshaped the modern world, elephants were the original heavy lifters of Southeast Asia. Respected as workers and warriors. In ancient Thailand, these giants were led into battle by kings. Towering figures of strength and strategy that struck fear into opposing armies. Like horses in the West, they were the backbone of military power, but far more imposing. And they weren't just feared, they were revered. Once, over 100,000 elephants roamed freely across Thailand. Today, only around 2,500 remain in the wild. A sobering reminder of how quickly things can change. To outsiders, Thailand is often seen as a land of mystery. Where ancient temples rise from the jungle and golden spires reflect centuries of devotion. But beyond its beauty, this is a nation deeply rooted in tradition. And few symbols are as enduring as the elephant. Their legacy isn't only one of war and labor. In this Buddhist kingdom, elephants have long been symbols of peace, wisdom, and divine power. Many still make offerings to Ganesh, the elephant-headed deity, and to the white elephant, a rare and sacred creature tied to royalty. These animals aren't mythical. They're real, though incredibly rare. Some domestic elephants still live in traditional villages, helping plow fields or carry tools and crops, much as they have for generations. But not all are so fortunate. Others spend their lives performing in circuses or roadside shows, where applause and tourist money keep the cycle going. In cities like Bangkok, young elephants are sometimes led through crowded streets to beg far from the forests where they belong. For many families, these elephants provide a means to survive. But to others, this is a life of quiet suffering. And for one Thai woman, it's a call to action. In the lush hills of northern Thailand's Chiang Mai province, Sangduan Lek Chailert has devoted her life to rescuing elephants from lives of hardship. What began as a modest refuge has grown into the Elephant Nature Park, a sanctuary for some of Thailand's most vulnerable elephants. Lek's deep bond with these gentle giants allows her to build trust with even the most traumatized individuals, helping them heal without fear or force. Her approach is simple but powerful. rooted in patience and compassion.
In our place, we tame them by love, and we give them a lot of love and let them trust us.
Inspired by Lek's work, a Dutch volunteer named Antoinette van de Water arrived at the park hoping to help. Deeply moved by the plight of these elephants and by Lek's unwavering commitment, Antoinette left her home in the Netherlands and committed herself to the cause. Together with a small team of dedicated handlers, Lek and Antoinette work side by side to give Thailand's elephants a second chance at life. From daily care to fundraising and awareness, Antoinette supports the sanctuary in every way she can. But both women know more needs to be done. Their next mission is to find more elephants in urgent need of rescue and bring them home to the safety of the sanctuary. Along the way, they aim to educate the public, spark compassion, and share these elephant stories with the local communities they meet along the way. Not all domesticated elephants in Thailand live the same life. Their treatment often depends on the character and choices of their owners and handlers. The men who train and ride them, usually for profit. Some elephants still work in rural communities, cared for with a sense of respect. But many are kept in elephant camps around the country, trained to perform and carry the hundreds of thousands of tourists who visit Thailand each year. While a few are treated well, many live in harsh and miserable conditions. The roots of this problem go back decades. Wild elephants were captured and forced to work in logging camps, ironically helping to destroy the very forests they once called home. Logging was banned here in 1989, so today their services are no longer needed. There's little demand for elephant power in the modern world. In bustling cities like Bangkok, some elephants are still made to work long hours, earning modest profits for their handlers while surviving on minimal food and rest. Forced to navigate crowded streets, the elephants risk being struck by cars and often resort to eating rotten scraps from dumpsters. Begging with elephants is illegal in Bangkok, so the handlers hide them under the highway during the day. Here, the elephants stand and wait while their handlers prepare small bags of food to sell. When night falls, the city comes alive and the elephants are led through the city's busiest streets. Begging for money, they work long nights, surrounded by traffic, noise, and flashing lights. It's an overwhelming environment for such sensitive animals. Some are drugged to cope. To change these lives for the better, Lek and Antoinette must find those most in need of rescue. Lek and Antoinette head to the Serene Elephant Festival, an annual event where hundreds of domesticated elephants are brought in from across the country. Over several days, the festival showcases Thailand's rich cultural heritage. Dancers in traditional costumes perform alongside elephants in choreographed parades. An impressive spectacle for visitors, but one that masks a more troubling reality. They spend long hours performing in the heat for the entertainment of crowds and the pride of their owners. Behind the scenes, many elephants are exhausted, malnourished, or scarred from years of hard work. Despite on-site veterinary care, it's clear that many not chosen for the spotlight are damaged goods. Elephants scarred by both physical wounds and emotional trauma. Lek and Antoinette walk quietly between the enclosures, speaking with handlers and listening to their stories. There are many elephants who need rescuing, but the sanctuary only has space for 2. It's here that they find the ones most in need and offer them a chance to heal. The first elephant they notice is Douk Ngern. She's tucked away in a corner of the festival grounds, tied firmly to a short chain. Thin, withdrawn, and clearly distressed, she's been pulled from the show due to her unpredictable behavior.
Look at her eyes.
As they ask more questions, Lek and Antoinette learn that Douk Ngern is in the middle of a brutal training process where elephants are broken down and forced to perform. Help has finally arrived. The second elephant they find is much larger and part of the main show. Her name is Nuan, and like so many others, her past is filled with pain. She once worked as a trekking elephant, carrying tourists for hours each day, with barely enough time to eat or rest. Each night, she was chained near a rice paddy. One evening, driven by hunger, she broke free in search of food. The owner of the rice paddy retaliated, firing a slingshot that blinded her in her left eye. Lek and Antoinette have found their elephants. Now, they must secure their freedom. They negotiate with the owners and verify the elephants' papers to ensure every detail is legal and above board. Elephant prices vary based on health, age, and condition. Douk Ngern's owners want nearly $8,000 for her release. And there's no time to lose. Douk Ngern is already in training. Historical footage reveals the cruel training methods once used to break young elephants. Some calves began their training as early as 3 years old, restrained for weeks in wooden cages, or tied up while they learned to submit. They were fitted with saddles, harnesses, and permanent leg chains, and taught to obey through pressure and guiding hooks. For many, this was the start of a lifetime of labor or performance. The process was long, punishing, and left lasting scars, both visible and hidden. Elephants are known for their intelligence, sharp memory, and gentle nature. And when Douk Ngern sees Antoinette, something shifts. There's a flicker of curiosity in her eyes, a tentative connection, as if she senses her life is about to change. For now, Douk Ngern remains chained near a rice paddy, with wooden sticks placed behind her ears to keep her head restrained. Antoinette can't move her yet, not until all the paperwork is complete and the funds are secured. But time is running out. Douk Ngern is so frail, so broken by the training process, that without rescue, she may not survive much longer. Finally, after months of preparation, Antoinette secures the paperwork. Douk Ngern and Nuan are free, and their journey north can begin. Starting from the ancient city of Ayutthaya, just north of Bangkok, Antoinette sets out with her 2 rescued elephants. A 950-kilometer trek north to the Elephant Nature Park in Chiang Mai province. Ahead of them, a new life and a new family are waiting. At the park, Lek's rescued herd has grown into a sprawling extended family, each elephant carrying their own story of survival. At the heart of the herd is May Pum. Now 89 years old, she was the first elephant Lek ever rescued and remains the park's matriarch. May Pum has formed a close family group with 2 others, Hope and Jokia. Hope, a lively 5-year-old bull, arrived at the sanctuary just a few months old. Jokia, once a logging elephant, carries deeper scars. Blinded in both eyes by a slingshot after not obeying her owner, Jokia relies on May Pum for comfort and guidance, rarely straying far from her side. The trio shares a remarkable bond, though not without its dramas. May Pum's trunk bears the playful marks of young Hope's spirited sparring. Hope came to the park as a sickly orphan, infested with parasites and battling liver disease, the same illness that took his mother's life. Now, full of energy, he often wrestles with his best friend, a 4-year-old called Jungle Boy. Together, they embody the park's greatest success, a second chance at childhood, and a future where elephants can simply be elephants again. On the road, Douk, Ngern, and Nuan are 4 weeks away from their new beginning. Step by step, the team makes steady progress toward the sanctuary. Along the way, Antoinette sees an even greater opportunity, not just to rescue 2 elephants, but to rekindle a nation's respect for these magnificent animals. At every stop, they share the elephants' stories, teaching local communities about the vital role elephants play in Thailand's ecosystems and culture. Antoinette visits Buddhist temples, offering free medical care for villagers' pets, drawing the community to meet the elephants and learn about their plight. In nearby schools, she plants the seeds of hope for the future, inspiring the next generation to see elephants not as commodities, but as treasures worth protecting. Children gather eagerly, helping to care for, feed, and even paint portraits of their favorite elephants. It's not hard to see the magic elephants inspire, especially in young hearts. But the journey isn't without challenges. Every district they pass through requires new inspections, mountains of paperwork that must be in perfect order. And for elephants unaccustomed to long-distance travel, the stress is real. At one point, Nuan accidentally injures the much smaller Douk Ngern. Douk Ngern panics, forcing the convoy to stop immediately. The team tends to her wound carefully, applying purple antiseptic to prevent infection and giving her time to calm down before they continue north. Every kilometer brings new obstacles, but it also brings them closer to home. At the park, it's not uncommon to see elephants marked with antiseptic stains across their heads, trunks, and bodies. Lek Sanctuary is not just a place to roam free, it's also an elephant hospital where the injured and the broken are healed. One of the most remarkable survivors is Boon Kum. Born in the 1950s, he spent much of his life working in logging camps and later begging on the streets. As he matured, he grew 2 magnificent tusks until the day everything changed. While chained to a tree, Boon Kum was attacked by poachers. They drugged him, cut off one of his tusks completely, and left the second one severed. The open wounds became badly infected, spreading across his face and body. When Lek and her veterinary team found him, his condition was critical. They gave him a 50% chance of survival. But at the Elephant Nature Park, Boon Kum found safety and a chance to heal. Each week, the handlers trek into the nearby hills known as Elephant Haven, searching for medicinal herbs among the high forest trees. Once they find the right plants, they prepare the remedies by hand, part of a long tradition of healing elephants with the forest's gifts. Back at the park, they carefully treat Boon Kum's old wound. Even after many years, the infection in his tusk socket lingers. The treatment is painful, but Boon Kum stands patiently, somehow sensing that each visit brings him a little closer to recovery. Today, Boon Kum lives happily at the sanctuary. His remaining tusk has continued to grow, and he's regained his strength, rising to become the park's dominant bull. Not all male Asian elephants grow tusks. For those that do, the tusks begin developing around the age of 4. Tusks never stop growing, and in the wild, they can reach lengths of up to 1.5 meters. But for many captive elephants, their tusks and their freedom have been cut short. Now, for a lucky few, the journey to something better is about to begin. After 4 long weeks on the road, Antoinette and the elephants are home. They finally reach the outskirts of the park, where Lek and the team are waiting. Throughout the journey, the elephants' well-being has been paramount. At every stop, they were bathed, fed, and given medical care to keep them strong for the long road ahead. Now, the last part of their journey will be made on foot. As they approach the sanctuary gates, a small herd gathers to greet them, curious about the new arrivals. The volunteers and handlers welcome Douk Ngern and Nuan home. While a Buddhist priest offers a blessing for their new lives ahead. Then it's time for introductions. Hope, the rambunctious 5-year-old bull, wastes no time investigating the newcomers. Curious and full of youthful energy, he greets Sri Nuan the traditional way, with a gentle touch of the trunk. Hope's journey hasn't been easy either. He arrived at the park after his mother had died, his young life already shaped by loss. It took months of patient, gentle care from Lek and her team to rebuild his trust.
You're still training Hope.
Yeah, still training Hope every day, and we give him a new word for him to listen. Hope very intelligent and very clever.
Just like people, elephants are shaped by their experiences, and healing takes time. By the end of their first day, Douk, Ngern, and Sri Nuan remain side by side. Still cautious, but no longer alone. They're ready to become part of Lek's growing family, where patience, love, and freedom offer the chance to start again. But for elephants who have endured so much, insecurity isn't easily left behind. Sri Nuan's insecurity is rooted in something deeper than fear, a profound grief. When Antoinette rescued her, she learned that Sri Nuan's sadness stemmed from a heartbreaking loss. Her newborn baby had been taken from her. For a mother elephant, the bond with her calf is everything. In the wild, young elephants stay close to their mothers for food, protection, and shelter. Even in captivity, mothers instinctively keep their babies close. But all too often, calves are separated, taken for use in tourist shows, zoos, or performances. Determined to reunite mother and daughter, Antoinette began a search that took her all the way to Phuket, a popular tourist destination in southern Thailand. Baby elephants are a major attraction here, trained to entertain the endless tide of visitors. Antoinette followed every lead until she narrowed her search to a trekking company that also featured performing elephants. But the news she received was devastating. Sri Nuan's baby had died, mistaking an electric cable for a water hose and electrocuting itself. It was a loss that no mother, human or elephant, should have to endure. From the moment they're born, elephants form strong family bonds. Newborn calves depend entirely on their mothers for food, drinking their mother's milk for up to 5 years. But raising a calf takes a village. Nursing mothers spend so much of their time eating to produce enough milk. Aunts and grandmothers often step in, offering love, protection, and guidance. If a threat appears, the family responds instinctively, stamping the ground with their trunks and forming a protective wall around the young calf. At the park, that sense of care extends even further. Lek's devotion to her elephants is absolute. Thanks to her tireless efforts, the Elephant Nature Park has grown steadily over the past decade. It is now home to more than 30 rescued elephants, many still carrying the scars of their past lives. Among them is 36-year-old Mado, a survivor of a forced breeding program. A broken knee and a dislocated hip left her with a permanent limp. Yet she navigates the park with remarkable determination. Each elephant here has had their freedom bought and been given the chance to rediscover what elephants love most: to play. And the muddier, the better. Here, for the first time in years, elephants live normal lives. Extraordinarily, new families are forming. Mothers adopt young calves. Older siblings watch over the little ones. And the males, true to form, flirt shamelessly. It's a rare sight. In the wild, elephants are slow to accept outsiders. But here, against all odds, a new kind of family is being built. One bound by trust, healing, and second chances. At the park, each elephant is entrusted to the care of a dedicated handler. They ensure the animals are well fed, receive medical care, and most importantly, are treated with respect.
She don't want to lie down, we want her to lie down now.
Lek and her handlers use a new kind of training based not on dominance, but on trust and reward. When an elephant completes a task, it's rewarded with treats, reinforcing good behavior without fear or pain. Lek believes that elephants can be trained without breaking their spirit, a philosophy few had dared to try before. When they're under 4 years old, young elephants are still manageable. A rebellious kick from a small calf might sting, but does little lasting harm. But as they grow, so do the risks. Hope and Jungle Boy, once mischievous babies, are now entering adolescence. Their small tusks are starting to emerge, adding strength and unpredictability to their playful nature. Meanwhile, Sri Nuan has found a new purpose. She acts as an aunt to the youngest member of the park, a baby named Pupia. Together with Douk Ngern, they form a small, close-knit family alongside Me Tok Ka and Me Lo Tong, another survivor with a painful past. Me Lo Tong lost much of her foot after stepping on a landmine, a permanent reminder of the dangers elephants face in human-altered landscapes. To keep the elephants healthy, Antoinette takes on a vital daily chore, loading up the food truck at the bustling markets of nearby Chiang Mai. a fully grown Asian elephant can eat up to 200 kilograms of food every day. With over 30 elephants at the park, that's a lot of bananas. Watermelons, sugarcane, and pumpkins also make it onto the menu. The elephants know exactly what the arrival of the food truck means. Before she came here, Sri Nuan survived on just a few scraps of sugarcane each day. At first, she would rush to the feeding platforms, desperate to eat as much as she could. But here, she's learned that there's enough for everyone. Each elephant gets its own full basket of food, so there's no need to fight. The elephants even help contribute to the park's running costs. After all that food is digested, nothing goes to waste. Their dung is collected, cleaned, and softened through a long natural process. Once washed, dyed, and left to dry in the sun, it's transformed into something new. Elephant dung paper, a clever, sustainable way to turn waste into something beautiful. A year has passed since Sri Nuan and Douk Ngern arrived at the park, and both are slowly finding their place among the herd. Sri Nuan has embraced her new life, and like elephants in the wild, she enjoys playing with the youngsters, Hope and Pupia. Pupia, in her toddler stage, is still finding her feet. But every fall is part of learning. At any age, elephants love to play. Douk Ngern, however, still carries the deeper scars of her past. She keeps mostly to her small step family, seeking comfort especially in the company of Sri Nuan. She's grown stronger, healthier, her body filling out after years of deprivation. But trust takes longer to heal. Bath time is a favorite for elephants, handlers, and volunteers alike. And while the younger elephants splash and play, Douk Ngern sticks close to her family, wary of letting others near. The brutal training she endured still lingers, a shadow that the handlers hope time and kindness will one day lift. Yet here, among friends and freedom, there is hope. Lek and Antoinette have succeeded in their mission of bringing Douk Ngern and Sri Nuan to a place where they are loved, respected, and part of something larger than themselves. Antoinette's work continues, helping Lek to raise the funds needed to maintain and expand the park, ensuring that every elephant here has the space and care they deserve. Feeding the herd is a daily challenge. From the injured to the once forgotten, the sanctuary is a reward hard-earned, a second chance for lives once shaped by hardship. It's said that an elephant will forgive, but never forget. And here, among these resilient giants, forgiveness is blooming. Those who were once broken are learning to heal, thanks to the unwavering dedication of a few brave souls like Lek and Antoinette, determined to give them a future worth fighting for.